Candace this, and why do you want to tell her on a television show? Explain to me.
I felt like we were really getting closer, and especially we've been going out for about a year, a little bit more than a year, and she came home and met my parents over Christmas, and I felt like we really grew closer, and in my mind at least, we got a lot more serious. And this kind of bothers me because this is gonna come up again, I know, or it will come up and she'll find out about it, and I'd rather she found out now from me, and I'd rather we get it out the way and deal with it now rather than let it fester.
Well, I think maybe that's right. I agree. Before we meet Candace, who is waiting backstage and can't hear us, you told our producers this morning that the cheating occurred 8 times with her best friend. How did it happen? Explain to us first, and we'll help you explain it to her.
I would say that I was really irresponsible. I didn't drink when I was in high school, but I started drinking, I guess, and when I drink, I become a different person, I guess, and...
What, each time you were drunk?
Every time.
Every time you were drunk?
I was.
Kevin, 8 times? 8 times?
I can't drink anymore anyway, so...
Okay, but 8 times?
Yeah.
You said that every time it happened, you felt terribly bad and terribly guilty.
We both did.
So why happen again? Why does it happen again?
I know. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, and if I was in the audience, I would be doing the same thing.
Okay. What do you think Candace's reaction is going to be?
She's... Probably.
What?
I think she's probably not going to...
Well, it was completely unexpected. I really had you know, I was drunk as well. Not that that makes it any better, but I have no idea what to do.
What do you want to say to Candace? Not to me. What do you want to say to Candace?
Just I hope that you can... I hope that someday you can forgive me. I'm not going to expect anything or ask anything of you right now.
It's a good idea. It's a very good idea.
Don't be friends like that.
This was a
If it happened, felt like she was sitting on top of the world. She appeared to have a loving boyfriend named Larry. She was pregnant with their child. And what should have been a blessed event turned into an event filled with pain and anger and sorrow when Maggie discovered that Larry was cheating on her with a mistress named Jennifer. Larry and Jennifer will be joining us in a few minutes. First, Maggie, it's very complicated, isn't it?
Yeah.
When did you first notice he was cheating on you?
Okay, it was pretty obvious. It was probably 6 weeks into my pregnancy. He got laid off and he started working at a bar. And it was real obvious. I mean, he'd come home, maybe take a shower, get something to eat, and be gone. Okay, and besides that, I had a lot of people coming up to me, well, I seen Larry here, I seen Larry there, he was talking to so-and-so. So it was real obvious.
So did you confront him with this?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, he pretty much lied about it.
He said, no, I'm just working at this bar. But when
Right,
he comes home, just has breakfast, changes clothes, and leaves, isn't that some indication that you could confront him?
Right. I mean, when girls call the house and he...
Yes.
You know, he said, I asked him about that. I said, well, who is this girl? Oh, well, that's my hairdresser. She's calling me about my haircut.
Okay.
So,
now, I understand...
that was the first one.
...that you were home and you were pregnant, and you invited a friend of yours to come up from New Mexico to stay with you?
Uh-huh.
Did he cheat with your friend?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he sure did.
What went on during the first 2 weeks after the baby was born?
He was seeing, let's see, he was seeing Jennifer.
Where did he meet Jennifer? As far as you know, do you know where
I would assume at the bar.
Okay. He was seeing her. Meanwhile, the baby was quite ill, right?
Yes.
And discuss things with her that I couldn't, discuss with anybody else.
Okay, Jennifer, come on out. Jennifer. Before we get upset with Jennifer, let's ask Jennifer some questions. Where did you meet Larry?
Where Larry meets everybody.
At a bar. At a bar.
He was bartending in a bar.
Okay. Did he tell you he had a wife who was pregnant and about ready to, had a girlfriend who was pregnant and about ready to deliver?
Later after I had been with him, yes.
Later. What did he tell you at first?
There was no discussion. I assumed that because he had asked me out that he was single.
You didn't ask him if he was involved with anyone?
Well, I wouldn't because I naturally...
Oh, but you didn't know when you came to my house when I was in labor that a woman
I
lived
knew.
there and there was a nursery? And
I knew. I knew then, yes.
And then what did you think?
And you were still there?
Yes.
What did you think?
What did I think? First of all, I immediately saw a pattern. Even just with speaking with him and him explaining past relationships, I started realizing what was really going on. Before I even found out that I was pregnant, I told Larry that I was better off not being with him because I could not trust him. He did not have a stable life.
Been married 11 weeks, and Dawn has already confessed to cheating on Chip with her ex-husband 7 times. Chip is waiting backstage, and he's going to join us in a minute. Dawn, how did all of this begin? First of all, your first husband, you met him and married, and how long were you married?
Well, I filed for divorce a week and a half later.
Week and a half later, okay. How long have you known him?
Since I was little.
About how young were you?
About 7.
7, okay. Then how did you meet your current husband, Chip?
Through work.
Through work,
Yeah.
okay. And you fell in love?
Yeah.
Got married?
We hit it off right from the beginning.
What is happening with you? You yourself have told us that you have cheated 7 times by going back to your first husband. What's going on?
Well, I kept going back for financial reasons. Security.
When we say cheated, we meant slept with, yeah. Why do you mean financial reasons? The first husband, was he paying you to sleep with him?
No.
No? Then what do you mean by financial reasons?
When I don't have to worry about nothing when I'm there. We go to work every day. We made lots of money working.
All right. Why don't we bring Chip out and see if we can try to understand what's going on. Chip, come on in. Chip, and we'll meet him in a minute. But first, Nicole, are you as forgiving? I mean, tell us about this relationship with your boyfriend, Stephen.
Well, I met him about a year ago, and I don't know. I love him a lot, and he's cheated on me.
10 times.
10 times.
Now, was this with one person?
Just one person. He had been with...
Is this an ex-wife?
This is an ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
That's the only person he's ever been with in his life. He has been with her for 5 years. They had a son together. And when we met, it's like he wasn't over her yet. So I didn't, I just fell into him. Do you know what I mean? I just fell into it. I fell in love with him, and he left me the first time, and I thought it was over. And then he came back to me. And then I took him back.
Is he going back and forth 10 times? Back and forth,
Yeah.
back and forth? How did you find out about the cheating?
Well, the first time I found out, she called me and told me. She said, "I hope you know Stephen's been with me last night." And I was like, oh. And, we don't live together. And it just shocked me. I was like, holy. And I asked him, and he totally denied it. No, we weren't. No, we weren't. And then we got together at my house, and she showed up at my house, walked right in, didn't knock on the door or anything, and told him he had to choose between me and her. Well, he left with her.
Well, let's bring Stephen out. heard Nicole tell us your relationship has been on and off 10 times. Why are there 10 offs?
Well, Sally, the reason why I cheated on her so many times was because,
When somebody cheats, does that mean there's something wrong with the relationship?
Absolutely. There has to be a window for a third person to climb in. And so one thing that needs to happen is what led up to the cheating, both partners need to look at, but the person who cheated needs to take 100% responsibility for the cheating itself. That's absolutely their fault.
Okay, what do you do? Should you tell somebody?
It's the hardest question to answer. In Kevin's case, he had to tell because somebody, she was going to find out. Candace was going to find out at some point. I think the point is before, when you have thoughts of cheating, it needs to be addressed before you cheat, not afterwards.
Okay, very good. If you tell somebody, how do you tell them? Give us a Kevin lesson.
There's no way to really tell them. And like I said, people shouldn't be cheating in the first place. They should be trying to work on the problems. When they know there's a problem, that's the time you get to work. If you cheat, you risk losing the relationship.
Will you take Larry and Maggie and Jennifer, and what is your thought about them?
Larry sees relationships in threes. He finds a woman, he